So it's Tipo here. Doing something a little bit different today. I haven't done a commentary in a little while, and as I'm going to be out tomorrow and not able to upload, I thought I'll try something a bit new and uh, publish or schedule this to be published in the morning. Obviously, the upload schedule must be preserved at all costs. So, yeah, just going to sort of talk some random shit, really. Have some random thoughts over this gameplay. Well, there's two gameplays technically. This is uh, I was just playing solo not too long ago, running around with a VMP just because I didn't really feel like challenging myself. And if you're playing solo, I think that's already enough of a challenge. You don't need to like have a shitty weapon and the rest of it. I'm not that good. Let's be real. And on the subject of the VMP, this gun is just so broken. It really is. Every time you use it, you do well. It wins fights it really shouldn't win. It's good up close, close range. You know, they really do. I think it would really help the game a lot if they nerfed it, because it's just far too prevalent right now. And if you're playing against a good team who are all running VMPs, which is pretty fucking common, unfortunately, you're kind of left really without much choice but to use it. I mean, if you're better than them, if you're smarter than them, it's not like you can't still win, but you will lose plenty of gunfights, get taken off plenty of streaks that you shouldn't do because of this gun. And I'm not under the illusion here that fucking Treyarch are going to be watching this video, let alone listening to what I have to say and taking it on board. But I guess, my own mental health and nothing else, wanted to express my frustration at this gun. Um, it's just way too overused, way too good, and it kind of just really makes the meta a bit shit. I mean, my general thoughts on the state of Black Ops 4 right now, I think it's pretty good. The player base is fairly sizable. I mean, I do find you'll run into the same names from time to time, particularly if you're in like Bare Bones or Safeguard, Hardpoint, maybe some of the slightly more obscure game modes. But for the most part, you can always get a lobby. I think the standard of the lobbies, it does vary a little bit. It's not too insane. Definitely lately, I've been having quite a bit of success, and that's obviously part of me just getting used to the game. I think playing a bit better. I still definitely have my sessions where it doesn't go to plan. But I think generally lately, the game's been pretty predictable, pretty reliable, and predictability I think is a very underrated aspect of any COD game. You want to know what's going on game to game. Where other team are going to be, how they're going to be playing, where you should be, what the spawns are. Yeah, I think the game for the most part is a good state. The streaks is an interesting part. I do find that the streaks have a lot of influence on this game, and this is something that I'd be interested to hear other people's opinions on, because I kind of go backwards and forwards with it. On the one hand, um, you know, somebody gets a strike team, they get a sniper's nest, they get a thresher. It makes such a huge difference to the game, and you can be in a close game with the team, and suddenly they get streaks, and then that just blows it wide open. I guess the flip side to that, and I've been on the other side where we're in a close game, we get our streaks, and we blow the game wide open. And at the end of the day, if you really have a problem with the streaks, don't let the other team get it. So yeah, I don't really know. I'm conflicted on this point, because it does get frustrating to play against guys, and you're having a good game and the streaks kind of just then take over. But I also like it when my streaks take over, and we're able to use that to win. So I don't know, just a little thought. I think the perks and everything I think are pretty balanced. I think other than the VMP, I think the weapon balancing is in a good place. I mean, sure, the crossbows and throwing knives and all of that, those could probably be toned down a little bit. If you've got a whole team running like that, I think Rob used a good analogy. It's like having a whole team of quickscopers. It's not even like they have to be that good, or putting streaks together and being really effective, but it's just if you have that many lasers all over the map, you can only dodge so many. And I do think, yeah, the snipers and the specialists were always my main complaint about this game. I throw the VMP in there now, but I still kind of stand by what I said. Funny enough, the specialist I do feel like I've been handling better lately. I think that's a combination. I run engineer on pretty much every class now, uh, so they don't tend to disrupt me as much as they would otherwise. It is a bit annoying having to run engineer on every class, but it is what it is. Um, and I think just also just getting used to it, and just this game is definitely one, the less seriously you take it, I think the more fun there is to be had. So yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the specialist toned down a little bit. That would be nice. Again, obviously nothing's gonna happen, but for the most part, I don't find myself confined to bare bones like I thought I was going to be when we first sort of came back to this game. So um, yeah, the other thing I would say, it's definitely more fun the more people you have playing. I don't think that's an accident. I think this game is very much designed around team play. I mean, even things like the fog of war to just the increased health, the map, um, the kind of the map layouts. I think all of it is kind of tailored to a more of a team dynamic, which is cool. But I do find if I'm playing solo, I'm pretty much limited to TDM or kill confirmed. If there's two of us, kill confirmed. Maybe if we're really on it, we could do a dom or a hard point. But once you start getting to 3, 4, or 5 players, I feel like we can go into any match and have a good time, and pretty much always win, which is cool. And it has been a lot of fun to play with the guys lately. I think we were definitely going through a real period of probably playing too much a couple of weeks ago, and that's definitely cooled down a little bit, which isn't the worst thing in the world. But for me, I do enjoy this game. I do enjoy playing with the guys and kind of connecting over something that's sort of semi-competitive, um, but at the same time not that serious. I know a lot of the other guys do prefer some of the other games, and not just like sort of talking about COD games. Like, there's been a bit of a resurgence on speedrunners. I know some of the guys like playing Far Cry, Subnautica, all these, kind of different games that they've been dabbling in. But for me, there's just something about having a little squad going into COD and seeing what we can do. And I think partly for me, it's probably my background in basketball. There's a lot of similarities between pickup hoops and COD, where you have your team, you rock up, you don't know who you're going to be playing against. It is a team game at the end of the day, but one player does have the ability to really make an impact. Yeah, I think just with my temperament and my mindset, like COD is always going to be the most fun for me when it comes to playing like with the group and connecting with the guys. So you know, uh, yeah, I mean, I don't really have too many other thoughts to say on that, other than whenever we do play, it's always a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get a search session going again soon. I thought the little mini series of that was really fun to watch. I think it was fairly well received, and I'd like to do more things like that. I think the party games could be fun as well, and just generally, I want to try and do some different things with my channel. I think that the gameplay commentaries are nice. It's always fun to watch these back, and especially when we've got gameplay commentaries from the old Black Ops 2 days, which are kind of very nostalgic and kind of wholesome experiences to watch back now. So I hope that these will serve for the future, and when that point does finally come where we grow up and don't play COD anymore, we've got plenty to look back on. But I also want to mix things up a little bit, and I want to just try different things. I think that I did a gameplay breakdown of Taha this week. I'll be doing one for Rob next week, and trying to step up my efforts, I guess, and things like that. Um, the What the Fuck COD episode is, I think that's okay. I think that I'll leave those for very exceptional circumstances. Um, I'm trying to think, what else have I been doing? I mean, obviously, I'm doing a commentary now, which is a little bit kind of out my comfort zone, but maybe this is something I can be doing more of in the future if I have topics or things I want to discuss. And the other thing I guess that's been on my mind about the channel really is how to grow it. It's not like I want to be a YouTuber, or that I want to really put a lot of time and effort into it, which I know is a big impediment to growing. But I also feel like getting more than 10 views a video would be kind of nice, especially given that I think, I don't know, the content's decent, and I think it'd be, the enjoyment that we're getting out of this now, I think would only be heightened if we had a few more eyes on it. So, I'm debating different ways of how I can maybe generate a bit more traffic to the channel, and I'm very open to suggestions there. What else was on my mind? I mean, I guess just one thing in terms of the future of the channel. I think some of the gameplays I've been uploading the last couple of days, I wouldn't say mediocre, but they definitely maybe haven't been like the best. That is kind of intentional. I've got a few really, really good sessions coming up, and I sort of just wanted to clear the slate, sort of get some of the chaff out the way, and really, get everything ready for the next couple of weeks, which should be some really, well, I know will be some really big games. So all that to look forward to. And I'm trying to think. I'm running out of ideas now. That was pretty much everything I had to discuss, and there's still got like 6 minutes left in this video. I could bash the VMP. I could, talk about other things with the gameplay. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. You run VMP and Sniper's Nest, and you're going to get a good game. Hellstorm, as you can see, pretty effective too. Although one thing I have been having a lot of fun with, and I've got to thank Taha for this, is running care package, which, as I mentioned, I'm always got engineer on, and if you have engineer and care package, particularly with crash, which is another thing I've sort of changed up lately. I was always running zero, and I've started pretty much running crash exclusively. You can cycle through those care packages and easily get anywhere between 4 and I think the most I've had is like 7 or 8 in a game. And if you're running engineer as well, you're going to get something good at some point. Taha and I actually had a game yesterday where I had a strike team, sniper's nest, and attack chopper, and he had a strike team and a sniper's nest in his care package. So, it can swing the game, and it's pretty cheap. I'm not gonna lie, but not quite as cheap as fucking zero hacking your attack chopper. And that's probably actually the last thing I'll say in terms of things coming for the channel. Rob and I had a really fun league play game the other day, and I mentioned that because my attack chopper did get hacked in that game. That's why I thought of it. But I think there's going to be some scope for that. You can actually have, I think, over 5-man teams. So that's another thing. I think in addition to the search and the party game stuff, I'd like to get a group of us and try some league play at some point. It's really cool the way they do it. All the challenges, the contracts, the stats are all completely separate from public games. They limit quite a lot, which I think is interesting. Again, I was worried it was going to be just a VMP fest, but there's no DLC weapons. There's much limited sort of range of perks and kill streaks and attachments. So I think it could be interesting. And again, I think it buys into that sort of team competitive dynamic that I mentioned I like. So that's something hopefully we'll get to do a bit more of. I will be posting Rob and I's sort of first look in a couple of days, or probably next week. So yeah, keep tuned for that. And in general, I think I know Jack wants me to be playing a little bit of Warzone, and we're probably going to try that a little bit at the weekend. I've played a couple of rounds with Rob. I don't know if I'll ever be posting Warzone. It's just I don't know. I don't find it fun. I don't find it interesting. It's just not what the COD dynamic is for me. Again, if I'm coming from a basketball background, I like high pace, always in the action, always shit going on. And Warzone feels a bit more like to keep the sporting, analogies up, more like cricket or golf or something. It's just not what I'm drawn to as a game mode. But I promised Jack I'd play some. I'm trying to get him involved in Black Ops 4, and it felt like a worthwhile trade-off. So, I mean, maybe if I get more than fucking 1 kill and then immediately go into the gulag, I might post that gameplay, but I wouldn't count on it. And quite frankly, I don't like the fact that COD's gone in that battle royale direction, and I do not want to be promoting or endorsing that in any way. Like I want COD to return to this, which is 5v5, 6v6 ideally. I think this game actually as mental as it can be, I think if you took away the specialist and made it 6v6, I think it'd be a lot of fun. But I do understand with the specialist bullshit, having another player or another two players, I guess, in each team across both teams would probably muck things up. And the last thing, I keep remembering things. I keep saying the last thing. I think this is actually it because the video is starting to wrap up now. I'm going to be releasing my conversation soon. I recorded a couple of episodes with Taha, Rob, and Dave a little while ago now, actually. And I was waiting on Simon. I've been trying. I just don't think that's going to happen. And I know you guys warned me, but I had faith, man. I had faith, and I wanted to see if I could do it. But I've sort of given up waiting on that. I do want to try and get Jack's episode recorded, but I've sort of decided I'm not going to let that stop me getting the others out. And it, realistically, if I can get the others out and they go down well, that again may be a bit more motivation for Jack to think, oh, I'll do mine. But it is tough, we're on different time zones, and you know, um, since I left Black Ops 3, we haven't really been playing together. So, but I'll make that happen. Well, there's a will, there's a way. As you can see, we're about to lose this game pretty badly. Again, if I'm playing solo, I am in kind of that kill whore mentality. Like, if we can win the game, great. But if the other team really wants to win the game, I'm not gonna, have a shit time just to, I don't know. It's still probably most likely end up losing. But yeah, I think this gameplay was still pretty fun. There was a few skips in it. I think the skips were coming down to me uploading multiple videos at once. I've noticed since I've started doing it one by one, I'm getting less skips. So I was worried initially it was to do with the recording process or something like that. But it does seem to be more on the uploading side. So I'm going to keep sort of going with that. It takes a little longer, but I think it's nice not to have like load of skips in the game. And as to why the audio is so out of sync and so bad on this, I really don't know. But hopefully it is not too noticeable, given that I've been blabbering away over the top.
Fucking nerf the
And,
VMP. Nerf that shit.
and that's me,
Ridiculous.
I think, stating my opinion. Because the VMP is pretty ridiculous. It turns average players into good players and good players into insane players. So yeah. But anyway, I've talked for enough time. I'm not going to re-record this. I don't think this was my best commentary. I'm going to be honest, but it is what it is. It's something, and this will go up tomorrow. So yeah, hope you enjoyed, and yeah, catch you on the next one.